Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Listen, if you want to use everyday English conversations to improve your speaking skills, understand native speakers effortlessly, and actually sound completely natural doing it, well, you are exactly where you need to be. Today, we aren't just looking at some standard boring textbook lesson. We're diving into a structured, highly interactive masterclass derived directly from a really effective daily English practice method. And the best part? You don't need to know overly complex grammar, and you definitely don't need to swallow a dictionary of big words. You simply need to do three things: listen, repeat, and speak. So take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and let's start training your brain to actually think and speak in English. Okay, let's take a quick look at our roadmap for today. We'll start with Section 1, the core strategy. Then in Section 2, we'll focus on everyday conversations. Section 3 is active practice. And finally, Section 4 will reveal the power of shadowing. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the core strategy, which is all about learning through dialogue. You know, when you first approach a new language scenario, the absolute best thing you can do is just relax. Just listen to a natural conversation to get the main idea without stressing over every single syllable. To practice this, our source material grounds the learning in relatable everyday situations, like a woman named Emma meeting a coworker named Daniel. Notice the specific exchange. Emma introduces herself, and Daniel responds simply and naturally. By using these everyday dialogues, English totally stops being this abstract academic exercise. It becomes a real, genuine human interaction. And as we move through these scenarios, we see exactly how Ethan, the instructor from our source, structures this practice. The method is incredibly straightforward. You listen carefully, repeat the sentences, speak out loud, and honestly, most importantly, you embrace mistakes. This highlights a really crucial principle. Mistakes are absolutely not the end of learning. They are a vital part of it. It's this consistent, simple practice following these exact steps that builds genuine fluency. Moving right along to Section 2, everyday conversations, where we'll focus on phrases in context. We really shouldn't just be memorizing random lists of vocabulary words. It doesn't work. Instead, we want to extract essential phrases directly from real-life dialogues. Take this first phrase from Emma, for example. Is the seat taken? It's an incredibly natural, polite way to ask if you can sit down. By learning the full phrase connected to a real situation, like, say, walking into a new office or a crowded coffee shop, it becomes so much easier to remember and use organically when you actually need it. Next up, check out this fantastic piece of conversational phrasing. How long have you worked here? We use this all the time to connect an ongoing action from the past straight into the present. In our narrative, Emma uses this to ask Daniel about his time at the company. It's just such an easy, friendly way to show interest in someone and keep a conversation flowing, completely avoiding getting bogged down in complicated grammar rules. I really want to emphasize a key concept that's woven throughout all of these dialogues. Simple English is good English. When characters from our source material, like Alex and Sarah, discuss their morning routines, they use very straightforward sentences. And I want to pause here and remind you that this applies directly to you too. You do not need these complex paragraph-long sentences to communicate effectively. Building your confidence literally starts with mastering these simple, natural structures. Which brings us perfectly into Section 3, active practice, where we actually speak out loud. All right, this is where I'm going to challenge you. You can't just listen quietly. You have to open your mouth and speak out loud. And please do not be afraid of making mistakes here. Here is how our active practice exercise works. It's a super simple 3-step process. Step 1, you're going to listen to a question about a daily routine. Step 2, you need to answer that question out loud, right, wherever you are sitting. And Step 3, we'll check the correct answer together. Engaging your vocal cords like this is exactly how you train your brain to start thinking in English. Okay, let's actually try it. Based on the daily routine conversation between Alex and Sarah, listen to this question. What time do you usually wake up? Go ahead, say your answer out loud right now. Okay, let's see how you did. A totally great natural answer is simply, I wake up at 7. Remember what we said earlier? Simple English is good English. You don't need a complicated sentence. If you just answered that out loud, you are already building vocal muscle memory. Awesome job. Let's try just one more to really test your active recall. Here's the question. How do you get to work? Take a second and say your answer out loud. And here is a perfect response. I go to work by bus. Notice how beautifully this utilizes basic, everyday vocabulary in a complete, natural sentence. This active Q&A format forces you to pull the vocabulary from your brain and physically say it out loud, which is just incredibly effective for retention. All right, now we arrive at section 4, the power of shadowing and finding your rhythm. This right here is truly the secret weapon of language learners. Shadowing means you directly copy the rhythm, the intonation, and the exact pronunciation of a native speaker. Look at this instruction from the text. Listen carefully, then repeat the sentences. It sounds so simple, right? But the more you repeat sentences out loud, the faster you build the physical muscle memory in your mouth and the neurological pathways in your brain to sound completely natural. Notice the distinct difference between the two approaches here. On one hand, we have passive listening. That's just hearing the words. And hey, it's great for getting the main idea. But on the other hand, we have active shadowing, actually copying the rhythm out loud. Engaging your voice in this dynamic way is literally the fastest way to shed your nerves and start speaking freely. So let's actually do a quick shadowing exercise right now, using a conversation about making plans between two characters, Mike and Lisa. I'm going to read a sentence and I want you to repeat it immediately after me, trying to match my exact pacing and emotion. Ready? Are you free this weekend? Try it out loud. Really try to match that natural rising intonation at the end of the question. Let's do one final shadowing repetition. Again, listen to my rhythm and then copy it out loud. Would you like to go to the park? Excellent! By doing that, you've just cemented both the pronunciation and the rhythm of a highly useful everyday phrase. As we wrap up today's explainer, I really want to leave you with a question. Are you ready to improve your speaking skills today? We've seen that you really don't need endless, boring textbooks. By listening to natural dialogues, extracting phrases and context, actively speaking out loud, and rigorously shadowing native rhythms, you literally have a complete blueprint for daily practice. Keep repeating, keep speaking out loud, and just watch your confidence grow. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack this conversational masterclass, and I challenge you to start shadowing today. See you next time.